My husband's back on the homestead for a couple weeks, and we're going to be doing some spring property cleanup today. We're going to be trying out the brush rake for the skid steer and also doing some cleanup with the excavator today. Here are some before pictures of the area we are cleaning up. There's just some old stump piles and rocks and sticks and brush that need to be removed, and it just overall makes the property look a lot better when that stuff's not laying around, and it makes it to where we can do more stuff with the area. We bought this excavator about 1.5 years ago because we have a lot of property and we had a wildfire a couple years ago, and there's just so much cleanup that needs to be done after the wildfire, and just there's a lot of things that we could do with the excavator. We wanted to use it to make side money, and living where we live, it is an amazing tool to have. My husband has been running equipment for most of his life, and at his last job he was running a lot of equipment, and now at this job he is a sole, mostly equipment operator, so he knows what he's doing. And of course I get to run the equipment too sometimes, especially when he's not home, but he's definitely the operator of the family. He's very good at what he does, and he is one of those people who has an eye for it, so he's very talented in doing dirt work and cleanup and stuff, and I really admire him. But it is really nice being married to a guy that can do this kind of work on our property. That way we can tackle big projects and keep our property cleaned up and looking nice and not have to pay boatloads of money to get it done, because equipment does cost a lot to own and maintain and run, but it costs even more to pay somebody hourly to do the job. Having a machine this size makes quick work of this kind of cleanup. Having a mini excavator would be great in some instances too, but this beast moves the trees and digs out the stumps really quickly. It has a lot of power, and it can just move bigger stuff and move bigger rocks and stuff. And here you see our old phone line started to get tangled up in this track, so I was trying to help him get that off of there. But yeah, it is definitely a really nice thing to have a bigger machine. We have a lot of property to take care of, and it would take us ages to do this type of cleanup with a mini excavator. Now it's time to park the excavator and get the skid steer out, and we just bought the skid steer this last year. It's been another amazing tool for the homestead. It can do so many different things, and you can get so many different attachments for it. We absolutely love it. We actually traded our tractor in for it, and we were kind of nervous to get rid of our tractor, but this thing is 10 times better than the tractor. It has so many more uses, and it is so much more powerful. We're gonna hook up our brush rake that has a grapple on it. We actually got this before we got our skid steer and used it with our tractor one time, but we have not used it with the skid steer yet because the first time we hooked it up, it flew a hose. So now we've got the hose all fixed and we are trying it again. It definitely does a good job at cleaning the brush out of the ground and picking up rocks. My husband did say that he liked using it a lot better with the tractor, and I'm not sure if it's just because of the power and the torque. The skid steer has a lot more, and it tends to dig it into the dirt and pick up a little bit more dirt, but it still does work really nicely for just making the ground look a lot better. And by doing this, not only are we getting rid of like a lot of the debris and stuff off the ground that prevents plants from growing and stuff, but getting rid of a bunch of the rocks and stuff too. So when this patch does start to grow back, it's going to grow back very nicely, and there will be a lot of new grass growing in as well. Of course, we had to set aside this nice stick of firewood so we can cut it up later and use it for keeping warm in the winter. This cleanup job only took about an hour and a half between the two machines, and like I said, it just makes such quick work of such big jobs, having a big piece of equipment, and having extra attachments for the equipment is really nice as well, because this isn't really something that we could have done with just the bucket. We would have really just been plowing a bunch of dirt, and the forks did move a little bit more dirt than we would have liked them to, but again, they left way more dirt than what the bucket would have left behind if we just ended up scraping all the weeds and bushes and stuff off the ground. Things are starting to look better already. I know it can be hard to see through the dirt, but once that starts growing back and everything gets green and nice again, it's going to look really, really good. My husband's quite the perfectionist. He will go over this quite a few times to make sure everything looks smooth and nice, and he even went over some of it with the bucket because we're going to be building a chicken coop out there, and he just wants it to look really nice. So I'll show some shots of what it looks like when he's done here pretty quick. We were pretty lucky to get this job done while my husband was home because he ended up getting really busy with some side work after this. So here's a couple views of after it was done. If you remember what it looked like before, there was a lot of stumps and debris laying around, and now it's nice and cleaned up, and it's gonna look so good when we get it growing back. I cannot wait to see it in the spring. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed watching my husband clean our land with his excavator and skid steer and our new brush rake, please make sure to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment if you're doing any land clearing or if you've ever thought about getting one of these brush rakes.